Okay, so I'm giving you the full version of the recreating of Sophia Richie's bridal makeup, which was a beautiful makeup look, and I could not wait to recreate it because it's my favorite type of makeup look. Natural, glowy, but not too glowy, soft. Everything flows so nicely together, but with this look, you'll notice like her cheeks really do steal the show with the overall finished look, and it was so fun to recreate this look. I did take some direction from Nikki LaRose, who suggested do an underpainting, and I totally agree with her. I don't normally do a lot of underpainting and not use contour. I basically just went with bronzer and softly built up the bronzer throughout the makeup look. I'm using all SEINT Beauty products, cream makeup part of it, to create the overall look. There'll be some extras that I mentioned. I'll link everything that I used. But I'm basically using my Bella bronzer to underpaint right now for the soft contouring. This is different for me because I usually prefer to use something cooler for my contour, but this is a very bronzy look, so we're going to try to keep everything very bronzed instead of contoured. It'll be softly contoured, just differently. And I may go in and add a little bit of my contour, which is cooler, just to see. I'll see how this looks for me in the end, and if I have to add some cooler contour, I will, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. I'm using these two shades here to make my foundation color. As I place it on my face, I'm going to dab it on around the like where I place the bronzer for my contoured areas, basically going everywhere that I didn't contour. I'm going to place a little bit of this lighter shade under my eyes by itself. And then we will go over top. Like so. Just going to blend this out some, and then I will follow with more of the foundation over top of all of it. I'm using a brush that will make this more of a light airbrush sort of finish, which is my fave. Just blending everything. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with a little more of the foundation over all of it. Lightly touching the areas where I place the bronzer for contour. I am going to put a little bit of this just on my lower eyelid. Mostly to the mobile part of the eyelid. I'm just going to blend it because the bronzer kind of plays a big part of the eyeshadow look here. Now for a bridal look, I usually like to go over my lips a little bit and powder them just to add some stronger staying power. Love it. Okay, just need to look at it. Alright, so this is it so far. I'm just going to take my Beauty Perfector sponge and just sort of set a little bit of this before I add the other steps. Very light touch here. Okay, so for this step, I'm going to be using the same thing that I did for the contouring part. So I'm using my bronzer and a little bit of this cream illuminator to create a really pretty glowy bronze overlay on this situation. Okay, so for the blush, we're going to use a couple different colors to build the tone of the cheek, and her cheeks are really like a big part of the entire look, so that's why I think the bronze is really important, and then the pop of color that is added with the bronze is so eye-catching. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start with this color right here. It's earthy, and it's kind of, yeah, it's rougey, but it's also earthy. Kind of builds on the bronze. Then I'm going to go in with this brighter color here, which has a bit of a glossy sort of finish to it, but I think it will work really well layered on top. This was sort of a beautiful mistake where I thought a little too much blush, so then I went in and kind of dabbed it with my Beauty Perfector sponge, and then went in with my brush that I applied my foundation and just lightly tapped over it a little bit, but the effect that it created was spot on. Love it. Okay, so I'm going to let this hang out and we're gonna put some lip liner on, and then I'm going to go up and do my eye. No, let's go. We're gonna go up and do the eyes, and then we'll come back and add the illuminator steps and then the lips. All right, so the bronzer is obviously a little bit of a base, as is the cheek color, because it kind of like melts into, the bronzer sort of melts into the cheek, and the cheek vice versa. So it all kind of flows really nicely, kind of seamless. So we're just gonna kind of build up on the eyelid and the crease area first. I'm gonna go in with this color called Valencia. No, I'm gonna go in with this color called Bubba. And we're just gonna build up in the crease a little bit. This one. Okay. Then we're just going to take a little bit of the same color and do the lower lash line. I'm gonna go into that lighter color that I use for the shimmer and just pop just a hint right there. Just a little. Now I'll do the other eye, and then we'll pick up where we left off over here, like so. All right, I'm gonna go do the other eye, and I'll pop back. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up the eyes with tight lining of this dark chocolate bright. It's like it's called tiramisu. It's Makeup Forever. It's the colorful, no it's not, it's Sephora colorful crayon, and it's an eye pencil. It's in the color tiramisu. It's like a gel liner. So I'm just gonna tight line this. Eyeliner is super smooth, so I'm gonna be quiet while I do this part. So at the end where my crease is right here, I'm just gonna do like a little flick, the teeniest flick, hardly even at all, but just a touch. Keeping my eye open for that. It's just a little something I'm gonna add to my eyes are a little smaller than hers, so I just want to make my eye look a little more elongated out there. All right, so I'll go tight line the other eye, and I'll go back. So when you tight line, you want to make sure that you're pushing the pencil like sort of along your lash line, but more like between your lashes. So for my illuminator, I'm going to use this one right here. It's a cream one. It's rose gold. So I'm going to just tap into that with the fat end of my Beauty Perfector sponge. And I'm just going to place that to those areas that I want a little extra something. Here. Cupid's bow. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply my mascara, but I want to make sure there's no creasing under my eyes before I go that far, and I'm just going to go back in with my setting spray on my Beauty Perfector sponge to make sure that, like I said, there's no creasing. All right, then I'm going to do just a hint of powder, and I think I'm going to use a brush For this, I'm just going to clean this brush that I used for my contour, and then I'll dip into some powder for my under eyes. I'm using the tiniest amount because it's cream based, so we want to make sure that we maintain the glowy effect. This is just going to mute down any unwanted shine that I don't want. Picking up the tiniest amount. And then under the eyes, I'm going to just lightly tap. I might even tap over my eyeshadow. And then go between your eyes, wherever you don't want too much shine. All right. Okay, so now we can go ahead and do the mascara.
I just texted on her studio. Photo one.
Oh, okay. All right, so eyes are done. I powdered my lips. I'm going to overline my lips a little bit. This is from Anastasia. It's in the color Deep Taupe. Going to sort of fill it in a little bit more on my lip because I'm going to have to layer a couple of colors to achieve the tone of her lips. And then slightly overlining the top lip. Then we're going to find what colors to place to mimic the tone of her lips. I think I know which one it's going to be. Here. A little bit deeper, so I'm going to tap into Rosewood which was one of the colors I used on my cheeks. All right. I think it is super close to the color of her lips. Could be slightly darker, but I think that is... Alright, so I'm just going to tap into my rose gold illuminator like a very little. Alright, so that sums up the finished look of this Sophia Richie bridal makeup. I love this makeup look, and I will recreate this look many times this summer. I think it's beautiful for summer months and for any bride. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Everything used will be in the description box of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this video and found it helpful. And thanks so much for watching through, and I will see you on the next one.